Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, I am Anna Maria and you are watching Miracle Orchids, the place you can learn everything there is to know about growing orchids. In today's video I am going to show to you how I am going to repot my Burrageara Nelly Isler. Then I am going to give you my care tips for this orchid. Then I am going to talk more about her setup, because I will use something different than I usually do. You know that usually I am growing my orchids in semi-hydro. Well, this will not be the case. Because I have discovered an organic medium which does seem to be quite on the liking of my miltoniopsis orchids, which is quite amazing. So I'm going to take all this old medium out. This is a peat moss with coconut husk and with very small bark. So it is quite decomposed. It smells quite bad. So the orchid doesn't like it. The orchids from the Oncidium Alliance are very sensitive to mineral buildup and to acidic medium, so their roots die very easily in these conditions. Because this medium is very decomposed, the orchid suffers from calcium deficiency. That is a general rule whenever you are buying an orchid which stayed in decomposed medium. Most probably that orchid has a calcium deficiency, because calcium is absorbed at higher pH, and if the medium is decomposed, it means it's acidic, which means it has a lower pH. So I have soaked this orchid in some calcium overnight. I use calcium from Cana, and I put about 80 ppm of calcium in that water, just to try to give a good start up to the orchid. As for medium, I will use bark, because I have found this awesome brand. It is called Dr. Soil, and it made a very nice media for orchids with fine roots or for seedlings. It will be a small medium, but for these orchids works very well. And I say this because I have tried it with a few of my miltoniopsis, and I was very pleasant surprised. The old roots did not die in that environment, even though the medium was acidic, like in the case of this orchid. And the roots really seem to love it. Also, that medium has added some biofertilizer in it, and you are not supposed to fertilize it for 6 months, which is pretty great. So that is what I will use with this orchid too. I was surprised how fast the orchids adjusted, and how fast she wanted to take hold of the medium, and it was a very good environment for orchid roots. I will do an update about that separate. I think the video in which I have used that medium was in Romanian, but that is okay. So I have removed pretty much all the old medium. Right now I will go to the sink, shower the orchid, then I will cut off the dead roots. The dead roots will be mushy, or if you pull away on it, you will remain with a string behind. The string is the real root, the mushy thing on the top is the velamin. So I will cut off those. I will spray the orchid with hydrogen peroxide, and I will come back with the actual repotting, because this, I believe, it's a bit boring. Okay guys, so now my orchid is pretty much all cleaned up. We can see that I have cut off a lot of the dead roots. These ones are not really all alive, but I have some growing root tips, and some of the actual root underneath the velamin is still alive, is still green, so it still can absorb moisture. I hope you can see this. So the root is still alive even though the velamin is dead, so it will survive for another week or two, which can help quite a bit the orchid. So I left a few of those too, not too many. You can see I cut off a lot of them. And as a pot I will use this 17 centimeters pot because the orchid is quite large. You can see how many pseudobulbs she has. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pseudobulbs and new growth, and I assume she will produce 1 or 2 more from this other one. So I will put it here. And as for medium, I will use Dr. Soil Orchid Substrate, and this inhibits fungi growth and bacterial growth, so it's super good for orchids. I did not have any fungi growing in the pots where I put the miltoniopsis, and there I also left a few 2-3 roots which were almost dead, so they did not produce any fungi there. And it is made from 70% pine bark, white peat, and biohumus, some organic material. So it's really nice. So I will go ahead and open it up. I think this is broken, so let's try it. Here is how the substrate looks like. I think they have changed a bit the batch, and it actually looks really interesting. I will put it in a small container so you better see how it looks like. So now I'm going to put a small part on the bottom, and it is a fine mixture, as you can see, really suited for this type of orchids. Okay, and now I will position the orchid a bit centered, and then I will add more medium around. You need to make sure not to bury the pseudobulbs, so I will try to lean it a bit forward, and actually I will put the back bulb towards the rim of the pot because I don't want it to have much moisture there. And this biohumus that it contains, it's super good for orchids. I have seen what it has done to my miltoniopsis, so that was impressive. And I think 1 bag is enough to pot an orchid in a 17 centimeters pot. As I said, here in the back I will not add more medium because I want air around this bulb. And this orchid will be kept in a decorative container, and when I will water it, I will completely submerge the whole pot in water, leave it for half an hour, then drain it. I will water it with rainwater or tap water, depending what I have, but I will not use fertilizer on it. That is very important because it already has fertilizer for half a year, so that is really nice. So you get to save quite a lot of money on fertilizer buying this type of substrate. And yeah, I think my orchid will do super good in it. As I said, this orchid will stay in an intermediate location where it has intermediate conditions, so she will receive right now that is summer about 18 to 25 Celsius, and in the winter time about 15 to 20 Celsius. This orchid is an intermediate to cool grower, and it does very well in any apartment if you make sure the orchid is hydrated. The problem is that when you purchase this orchid, usually she is rootless, completely rootless. So I made sure I bought this plant because it has this onion shape like pseudobulbs. They are very plump, they store a lot of energy, and she has 6 of them. I would not buy Nelly Isler with only one pseudobulb. I have one other Nelly Isler which is a bit struggling. It is in water culture and it is producing a spike. It has about 6 buds. I think that one might survive or not. I'm happy I have this one. And as for sunlight, this orchid does not require a lot of sunlight. She is usually very happy with about maximum 2000 foot candles, and that would be in the low light for Oncidiums. A bit more than Phalaenopsis, but not as much as for Oncidiums. This orchid requires high humidity if it does not have a good root system. If it has a good root system and you keep it very well hydrated, maybe you spray the leaves once in a while with cold water, then the orchid will appreciate it a lot. Now I guess that really depends in your environment. My environment has pretty good humidity for all orchids. I have about 60 to 70% humidity, so I cannot complain about that. None of my orchids display crinkety leaves, accordion shaped leaves, unless they are completely rootless, and that is another story. But my house has a good humidity, let's say. If you don't have good humidity and you really want to provide it, what I suggest it is to buy a ultrasonic humidifier, which will provide a cool mist to the orchid, will keep the leaves more cool, and the orchid will perform much better. In the case of the Nelly Isler, she blooms super well in lower temperatures. The blooms are more red in color, have less tessellation, while in warmer conditions like in summertime, the blooms tend to have more white on them, more tessellation, and less red. I do not mind that. It really depends on what you try to achieve. In my case, I'm sure the orchid will do very well, and I will keep you up to date. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I will make sure to reply to you as soon as I can. And with that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye!